You remember what I told y'all the last time we made pulled pork? I said once these Boston butts go on sale again, we're gonna pick up more than just one. And guess what, y'all? They went on sale. And we didn't get one, not two, not three, but 4 Boston butts. And that's gonna make us a total of about 50 pounds of pulled pork. Now, in order to do this, we're gonna have to fire up 2 grills today. So we're gonna be having the Char-Griller smoking champ going. And for the second grill, that's right, you remember that grill we found on the curb, on the side of the road? We cleaned it up, fixed it up, and it's ready to go. That's the Char-Griller King Griller Smoking Ace. So I can't wait to get into today's video. I'm gonna bring you up to speed, everything we had to do to get that grill we found on the curb ready to go. So if that sounds good to you, then let's dive in. When I'm prepping larger cuts of meat like a Boston butt, I like to start with a dry brine. Just coarse kosher salt overnight in the fridge. Dry brining helps lock in flavor and moisture. The salt pulls moisture to the surface at first, but then it gets reabsorbed, carrying seasoning deeper into the meat and helping it stay juicy during the cook. It's the next day and we're ready to season our pork roast. I'm keeping it simple with some Dub sauce as a binder to help the rub stick and give us some extra flavor on the bark. Then a heavy coat of coarse black pepper. Now it's time to fire up the grills. I'm building both fires in the main chamber. No offset fireboxes today. We're using the indirect method with a solid base of Kingsford briquettes and a few chunks of hickory hardwood. Normally I'd use chimney starters, but today I'm trying something new, a propane torch. I've been using this more and more lately and I'm loving it. I'll drop a link in the description if you want to check it out. Because this is a longer cook, we'll maintain heat by adding lump charcoal as needed. This gives us flexibility and keeps the internal temperature curve of each pork roast nice and smooth. While the grills come up to temperature, let's talk a bit about the King Griller Smoking Ace we brought back to life. After cleaning it up in the last video, we used an angle grinder and wire brush to take off all the rust on the grill and the grill grates. And to be honest, that's all this grill needed. We didn't even need to paint it. We just coated the whole thing in vegetable oil and seasoned it up. That seasoning layer acts like a moisture barrier. Look at this. See how that water beads up after a rain? This grill is ready to go. We've got 2 roasts per grill, and I'm using the Typhur Sync Gold dual thermometer to monitor 1 roast on each grill. This will give us a good sense of how the roast and the grill are tracking. We're not trying to hit an exact temperature today. We're letting each grill settle where it wants, then feeding fuel as needed to keep things stable. We're not over relying on the vents here either. We're keeping things steady by adjusting the fuel, not choking the airflow, and we're running everything indirect so the heat surrounds the meat instead of blasting it from below. That's the fire balance system in action. About an hour and a half in, and this bark is setting up nicely. Time to hit each roast with a 50-50 mix of apple cider vinegar and water. We're just gonna brush the surface to keep things moist, especially since these grills are running a little hot. We'll keep checking on the fire and adding more lump charcoal as needed. We've been managing both fires and holding steady on our temps. And at this point, we're about 4 hours in. The internal temperature on all 4 butts is sitting around 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and the bark is looking great, set just the way we want it. No need to push it further out here. So it's time to wrap these up and move them to the oven to finish. So we're gonna go in right now and check this bark. And what I like to do, right? We know we went hot and fast Early on in this cook, right, we had temperatures almost upwards of 400, 450. So our bark set pretty fast. So yeah, I don't think we have anything to worry about. We got a nice bark. The Typhur showing we're 100 and about 45 degrees internal. This is the probe that the Typhur's in. So I want to just go and check this one. Yeah, about 150. It's coming too. Just probing for tenderness right now, just to kind of get a feel. Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. So let's go ahead and get these wrapped. We'll let them ride in the oven until they hit 205 degrees Fahrenheit internal. But here's a pro tip for you. Don't just rely on the number. When you probe the roast, it should feel like you're sliding into a stick of warm butter. That's how you know it's truly tender. So don't just probe for temperature, also probe for tenderness. Once they're done, let's wrap each one in a towel and transfer them to a cooler to rest for 3 hours. Alright y'all, after 4 hours on the grill, 3 hours in the oven, and another 3 hours resting, this pulled pork is pulling beautifully. Bones sliding right out, the bark is holding, and this aroma, let me tell you, it's unreal. After pulling all the pork, we bagged it up into 2-pound freezer bags. This is where the payoff really kicks in. We're a large family of 10, and we've been using this pulled pork just like ground beef. Sandwiches, spaghetti, pizza, nachos, you name it. At less than $2 a pound, this pulled pork is beating the price of ground beef, and it's not even close. And the flavor, we've had some extended family tell us that this is the best pulled pork they've ever had, and asked us, how did we get it so flavorful and still maintain the moisture? I told them they'd have to watch the video to find out what we did. And no, we didn't inject it, no moisture tray either. But here's what we did do. We stayed true to our fire balance system. We added fuel as needed to maintain steady heat. We didn't over rely on our vents, and we cooked everything using the indirect method. We let those roasts rest in the cooler for 3 hours, and when we unwrapped them, we made sure to reclaim all the juices from the foil and mix them back into the pork. That's what fire balance looks like in action, and that's what happens when you pay attention to every stage of the cook. This was a long cook, no doubt, but when you see your family sit down and tear into that pulled pork, man, it makes it all worth it. I'll never forget the look on my daughter's face when I told her we weren't eating it that night because it had to rest. You could see the disappointment, because her mouth was already set on daddy's pulled pork. But the next day, when she finally sat down at the table, her whole face lit up. That smile, that moment, that's what it's all about. That's what keeps me coming back to this grill. That's what keeps me sharpening my fire management, improving my technique, and learning how to serve my family better every time. And if you're looking to take your grilling game up a notch, especially with the indirect 2-zone method we use today, definitely check out my Grill Temperature Zones Made Easy guide. It breaks everything down so you can master your heat zones and start turning out food like this with confidence. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, grill boldly, serve proudly, and enjoy the process.